In most sports, athletes are generally expected to have pretty buff features that help them stand out from the competition. Pro athletes train their entire lives to take their body to its peak level, so seeing very fit athletes is nothing new. However, there have been a few extraordinary ones over the years that are breathtakingly big. From wrestlers weighing more than 800 pounds to freakishly tall basketballers, here's our top 10 list of the biggest athletes to ever live. Before we dive into this list, make sure to leave a like on this video. Also, if you would like to join this month's Star 5 giveaway of a brand new iPhone 13, then all you have to do is subscribe to our channel and watch this video until the end to find and comment the hidden message. Good luck! At number 10, Nikolai Valuev. Standing at 7 feet tall and with his weight dangerously close to 330 pounds, Nikolai Valuev has always been known as a circus freak show due to his shockingly huge size. But behind this scary look is an actual gentle giant who later left boxing to follow his passion for serving the people as a politician. However, you can only imagine what went through the minds of opponents that got to meet this beast of a man face to face in the boxing ring. Of course, almost none of these thoughts would reek of confidence, no matter how great they are at this sport. Although his parents were just a little over 5 feet tall, Nikolai got his huge physique from an ancient tribe known as the Tartars. This was the story told by his grandmother, and it could be believable since this ancient tribe are oversized warriors. However, this Russian giant went on to hold a 50-2 heavyweight record with his final career match against Evander Holyfield. At number 9, Mariusz Pudzianowski. Although Mariusz Pudzianowski is only 313 pounds and 6 feet 1 inch, which is not as large as others on this list, he deserves a spot here solely for being one of the strongest men ever. Nicknamed Dominator, Mariusz has won the world's strongest man title a whopping 5 times. There are very few people in the world that have ever pulled this off. Credit for this impressive feat goes to his training, as he admitted he started strength training when he was just 13 years old. He finally got into the World's Strongest Man competition in 1999 and won his first major title in 2002. Mariusz also dabbled into MMA, where he got a record of 12-4 for his total fights. Obviously, he's a perfect mix of strength and skill. At number 8, Eric Esch. Who would have thought that a man weighing 425 pounds and standing at a cool height of 5 feet 11 inches would turn out to be one of the most prolific boxers in the world? Known as a boxing legend, Eric Esch, best known as Butterbean, came into the spotlight as far back as 1995. From that moment, he began to cement his name in the sands of history as a mixed martial artist, kickboxer, professional wrestler, and a professional boxer. Despite not being the actual size or shape for this kind of feat, every swing of his arms toward his opponent packed quite a punch. As soon as he retired from boxing after boasting a record of 63 wins out of a total of 67 fights, Eric moved on to MMA, where he also set another record of 17 wins out of 27 MMA bouts. No doubt about it, this massive athlete could take as much of a beating as he could dish out. At number 7, the Great Khali. If we mentioned the name Dalip Singh Rana, very few people would be able to tell that his name was one of the most famous athletes of all time. But he's best known as the Great Khali, and tales of his exploits have gone far and wide. Although he started from humble beginnings where he did some odd jobs and then joined the Punjab State Police, one of the best moves that the Great Khali would make was to start working out at the local gym during his free time. With this, he worked on becoming a great wrestler, and this finally paid off when in 2006 he became the first ever Indian-born professional wrestler to be signed to the WWE. Standing at a massive 7 feet 1 inch, the Great Khali is more of a machine, and he had a fulfilling career as a wrestling entertainer. This huge athlete also had some features in movies and television shows. At number 6, Emmanuel Yarborough. From his unique body shape, you can guess what sports Emmanuel Yarborough was heavily into, but he always stood out for his massive size that had opponents fight in terror. Although he was initially trained to participate in judo, Emmanuel had a more successful career as a sumo wrestler. From this, he moved into MMA, where in 1994 he lost to a much smaller Keith Hackney, but got his first and only victory against Tatsuo Nakano in his second MMA fight. Although his MMA career wasn't exactly outstanding and he eventually became a world amateur sumo champion, Emmanuel got a lot of extra attention for his incredibly big size. At some point, he weighed as much as 882 pounds, which got him into the Guinness World Book of Records. Unfortunately, this large athlete died in 2015 of complications of heart failure, a direct result of his unhealthy weight. At number 5, Shawn Bradley. No doubt about it, Shawn Bradley is one of the tallest athletes to ever grace the NBA as a basketball player. This German-American professional basketball player is known by many as the Stormin' Mormon. Stood at an impressive 7 feet 6 inches tall, which is quite huge by any standard. He faced many other giants in sport and came out victorious more often than not. You could say that Shawn was quite the terror on the court. After a prolific basketball career, he retired on a high after playing for the Dallas Mavericks at the center position for an amazing 8 years. After retiring from actively playing basketball, Shawn decided to spend a huge part of his life counseling teenagers at a private school. Although he ventured into politics, this wasn't such a successful move, as he lost the election for the 44th district seat in Utah, where he contested as a Republican. At number 4, John Daly. John Daly wasn't called Long John, Big John for nothing. Although not many people would expect a golfer to make it into this list, there's no doubt that John was one of the biggest personalities to ever feature in the PGA. So imagine how shocked millions of people were around the world to see a man as large as 285 pounds and 5 feet 11 inches make a name for himself in the golfing world. However, John's body couldn't handle the running round and physical intensity that playing this game required. Everyone knew the exact extent of the unhealthy nature of his body in 2014 when he revealed that he still smoked as much as 40 a day and took at least 10 cans of Diet Coke daily. Although he doesn't play golf as much due to a sharp career decline, John has several successful businesses. At number 3, Kaneshiki Yasukochi. Sumo wrestling was quite a sight to behold, with the sumo superstar as massive as Kaneshiki Yasukochi. It was no surprise that many people preferred to call him by his nickname, Meat Bomb or Dump Truck, all thanks to his 633-pound weight. Of course, going about his daily life was a huge burden, but Kaneshiki was the master of the sumo ring. Japanese fans were super happy when he won the top division a whopping 3 times, which was 3 times more successful than any other foreign sumo wrestler at the time. Unfortunately, he couldn't seal his name in history by becoming the first ever Grand Sumo champion. At number 2, Shaquille O'Neal. If you find yourself up against an athlete like Shaquille O'Neal, who's a shocking 7 feet 1 inches in height, no motivational speaker would be able to stir up the confidence you need to match him face to face. This is a feeling that many other NBA athletes that got a chance to play against him share. During his time as an athlete in the NBA, Shaquille made several impressive shots and runs, breaking records in the process, with several other players afraid to play defense against him on the court. This larger-than-life athlete was a dominant force with his personality as the Shaq Attack, but off the court, his sense of humor had people bending over in laughter. And at number 1, Andre the Giant. Many wrestling fans would argue that Andre the Giant was the greatest of all time, and it's not just because of his 7 feet 4 inches height that matched his massive 520-pound weight. We can confidently say that Andre the Giant was a delight to watch as a wrestler for the WWE and would easily get rid of the toughest fighters in the ring. He won several fights against other tough wrestlers, including King Kong Bundy and Hulk Hogan. But Andre the Giant didn't have this massive height naturally. Instead, it was the result of excess growth hormone in his body. Unfortunately, the legendary wrestler died in 1993 after suffering from congestive heart failure. And with that, we end today's video. Which other huge athlete do you think should have made the list? Do you really believe that Andre the Giant is the greatest wrestler of all times? Leave your thoughts down in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe and give us a like. Don't forget to turn on your post notifications so you never miss another video from Star 5. Thanks for watching.